finished the one I just put up. I'm out at Scott Hill. I'm allergic to chemicals, and they all know it. This is prearranged. And it's assault with a weapon. It's horrifying. It's like killing you in bits and pieces and making your life, my life, a living hell. And this is the fourth out of the HUD, low-income housing. And it makes it hard when I break the leases and I can't get an attorney because I'm so sick. And I can't go around. They'd threaten to handcuff me. They just tell me it's not happening because I couldn't take pictures of them when they come in and soak the linen when I walk out the door. It's almost like they hold me prisoner, and you have to go out to get groceries or something, or they just blatantly do it. They over affordable. In some of those places, they've not made no bones about it. They just come in and soak it and spray it, and it's hideous what they did to me. And you'd be so sick I'd pass out. My immune system would attack itself and get so low. But anyway, I'm going to, so I've left at the Scott Hill, I'd stayed at Moore out of, he's a minister out of North Carolina, and that's Joseph's dream. Joseph's way over in Bedford retirement, and they did that to me. I was soaked after staying there 7 months. So I get back, and he's got a new one. Oh, and I've always paid my rent. Let me clue you. Them doing all this to me, the suffering, and I knew that they had a new one in Christiansburg right next door to me here in Roanoke, and brand new, hadn't rented. I think she said they had 4 when I called her resident, and her last name's Scott, so it's using the Scott again. If you want to go back in, Scott's the name of one of my sons in March, and they've used names in all of this in the mind control murders. And I mentioned Larry Flynn again because he was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing the book in Marietta in March the 6th of 78. Because I can't get it all on one video, and I'm jumping from one to the other, and I don't know if people even care. I've gotten some of the nastiest, meanest remarks. Reach out. What I've done is really try to help and tell people, and now then I wonder why I did it, because all I've gotten is such ugly, nasty things done and said to me. And but anyway, the woman over there was the bookkeeper or the manager at Joseph, that owned Joseph's Way. He owns a whole bunch of them, ministered in their HUD. So you got the federal government can tie him up, but they don't have to go along with it. They don't have to break the law, but anyway, her name manager was Scott. Now, these managers, they get stuff on them or get them to cooperate with them in what they're doing to me and the toxic fumes and all this, and they think they're never going to have to pay for their crimes. They keep their nice jobs with their apartments there and all that and get to see their families. But anyway, her last name's Scott, and she just told me not to contact her again, that it would do me no good, that they did a background check, and I could just forget it. So I'm going to jump to this. It's using the Scott, and this one of my son's name's Scott. And I just come from here. I think I went out there on the 15th of July, I believe, or August, September, October. Anyway, I was out there almost 3 months. And it's out in Clifton Forge. And I got out there, and the receptionist's name is Elizabeth, as in Elizabeth Mountbatten, if you're following me, Windsor, the illegal. And then Christy McCoy's the manager, and the McCoy comes from, in the patterns, one of the doctors I worked for when I was doing the book, Forsyth, McCoy, and Kuchar. Dr. Forsyth was the one cardiovascular, and I was doing the book, and I didn't know the mechanism used and how they were knocking people off. Well, he had put a chip in a heart bypass of a, well, I ended up, that was the next job I had, was going to work for them, Dixon Produce, a huge produce company there, Howard Ferry Landing. Isn't that odd? And I saw the report thing where the doctor put a chip in him. and you can control his decision making, et cetera, and he doesn't even know it. But somehow the bookkeeper, I think her husband, Russell something, had something done to him similar. But anyway, I'm out here at um, Scott Hill Retirement, and you know I got there that night. They'd gone out and gotten furniture and asked for it, you know, for donations. So they got furniture, and it wasn't all that bad. It was cute. I was so glad to get it, have a roof over my head and a closet and a little stove to cook on and a refrigerator and some food in it. And the very night I got there, something was wrong. So I asked them to look at the air conditioning and the heating, and that can be your murder weapon, and nobody thinks of that. Well, right there was I was introduced to the maintenance guy who become the killers and all this, really. They should be locked up. They get things on them, or some of them will do it just for the hell of it. But anyway, nothing's wrong, and they did come up there to the apartment, and he said, this is clean, nothing wrong. He looked at it. He didn't take it down. It was an old, antiquated-looking air conditioning unit. You could take the front off and actually take pictures of it. I took all these pictures of it. There was black mold. There was everything in it. And I'm going to get to the point here that I made before this video goes off. I left because it was so horrible and I was so sick. And actually, they went into such jokes with me. It's a joke to them to do this to me. They soaked my bedding. They bring in this little dog that, before I came there, that had trouble with bed bugs. And so they got me out of the apartment, and they went in, and the dog went up on the bed and all this kind of stuff and sprayed it. I'm allergic. But by this time, I don't think there was any bed bugs anywhere in the whole place. But anyway, there's no need to try to tell all that. It's too much. Anyway, I'll say this. I left, and I got those photos, and I came back over here, and it cost me, there's no way out of Clifton Forge, 51 miles back over here, and I had to pay over here, and I ended up going back, so I paid $100 to 60 to come over, 40 back, and plus the rent I paid here I just lost because, you know, that's added big amount here at the motel. So Christy, I had called her when I left, and she promised to have it fixed and all that, so I went back. Well, that was a lie. It just came a fiasco. But I guess what I want to say here is at least I had photos. I could take photos of it in the past. They can just stand there and call you a liar, and this is exactly what they've done. And I had all the photos of the mold, and then when I went back, it wasn't fixed. And I'm not even going to try to tell that. I put it on and I've got it written down and everything. And she just lied to me. So I left again. I stayed till they gave to go on the 7th of October, and I actually left on Monday the 5th and came back over here. So now then, I don't think I'm even going to get my deposit back. And they are managed by the same people that managed Edinburgh, where I was, and the same thing happened. Not with black mold that I know of, but the chemicals that were so heavy. And you'd have to see what they did. And I got a feeling they're going to pull that. Now, you'd have to see this in court. You really would, laid out in court, or in a movie or a film or something, to really know what's going on. It's shocking what people can do to you. But I sent the photos. I can't get an attorney. Not that they don't need to be held accountable. They do. But I sent the photos to the management company, so I don't know if I won't get the deposit back. When I left that day, Elizabeth, knowing, she was receptions, knowing everything that had gone on, and knowing that chemicals made me sick, she even told me she went to school and was getting her degree, and I don't know what she said now, but it had to do with chemistry. And reminded me she knew exactly what I'd be going through. And when I walked out the door, she said to me, and I thought, my God, what have I done here wrong? she said something about